Hey, my name is Matthew Gernald. I have a YouTube channel called Natural Awareness where I take videos of nature and getting started with Richard Rohr. And Richard Rohr has a daily meditation article, I guess he sends once a day. And I started reading it yesterday and I'm going to read today, so wish me luck. So Richard Rohr's daily meditation from the Center for Action and Contemplation. And this starts week 18, and it's called The Path to Simplicity. And today is called The Purity of Heart. And he starts off by reading 3 quotes from the Bible. And the first one is, "My food is to do the will of one who sent me to finish his work." John 4:34. Next one is, "I cannot do anything on my own. I judge as I hear, and my judgment is just because I do not seek my own will, but the will of the one who sent me." John 5:30. And finally by Matthew 26:39, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass through me, yet not as I will, but as you will." Then it goes on to say, Richard Rohr finds a model of simplicity in Jesus' single-mindedness and purity of heart. When we read the above statements, it's quite clear that Jesus was entirely single-hearted. His life was all about doing the will of the one who sent him, the one he loved above all. To Jesus, it was that simple. As we grow spiritually, our lives become more and more centered and simple. There are only a few things that matter, and eventually, really only one. As Søren Kierkegaard beautifully put it, purity of heart is to will one thing. Again, purity of heart is to will one thing. No wonder Jesus said that the pure of heart would see God. Matthew 5:8. They alone keep their eyes in one constant and consistent direction, and thus overcome the divisions created by the divided heart and loyalties which plague the rest of us. Like Jesus, my spiritual father, Francis of Assisi, from 1182 to 1226 he lived, was connected to the source. He truly experienced radical participation in God's every life. Such practical knowing of his value and true identity allowed Francis to let go of status, privilege, and wealth. Francis knew his part of God's plan. Francis knew he was part of God's plan, connected to the creation and other beings, inherently in community, in communion, and in love. Francis taught his followers to own nothing. One more time, let me make sure I get this right. Francis taught his followers to own nothing, so they would not be owned by their possessions. Francis said, my brothers, God has called me by the way of humility and shown me by the way of simplicity. And the Lord told me what he wanted. He wanted me to be a new fool in the world. God did not wish us to lead us by any way other than his knowledge. If we don't live within our own center of connection and communion with God, we'll be spinning around other things. Again, I'm going to go on that one. We'll be spinning around other things. The goal of all religion is to lead us back to the place where everything is one. where everything is one, to the experience of radical unity with all of humanity, and all of creation, and hence to the experience of unity with God, the great includer of all. When we live in pure consciousness, letting the naked being of all reality touch our own naked being, we experience foundational participation. Out of the plenitude, a sense of satisfaction, and inner enoughness. Think about that, inner enoughness. Do we have enough inside of us? We find it much easier to live simply. We realize we don't need as much. We found our satisfaction at the inner place, at a deeper level inside. We're able to draw from this abundance and share it freely with others. And that concludes this reading for the day. And I guess I just look back on it and think kind of my desire at this age for altruism, so giving back to others. We could talk about getting a new car or buying the coolest things and stuff like that, and what do we get from it? And it seems like scientifically we don't get much happiness from it. I mean, maybe a second here or there, and then it goes away. I mean, yeah, I could have that Mercedes, but after a couple of days, I'm driving my car. But we do get some happiness from altruism, so giving back to others. So if I can, instead of a Mercedes, a normal Toyota, but even like go out and drive someone to that can't drive that day to a hospital or to care, or just give back, I think we get a lot more happiness and love for that. And we can replace the word God here with love, and love and kindness is what our goal is. So not obtaining everything in life that we need, personal belongings, but gaining what we want and what others want. And when we look at us as one with the world, it all starts to make sense. I hope that helps. At least that's my interpretation of it. But any opinions you have, please write them in feedback. Thanks. Take care.